Lucy. Lucy? Oh, it's freezing. How will you ever be fit for work if you keep getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning? I hope that's not for me.
Well, now you know it's not a burglar or me with my wrist slashed. Perhaps you'll go back to bed.
Lucy, you'll make yourself ill if you don't...
What? Pull myself together?
I don't know how you could imagine it could end any other way. Once it was in his own backyard. Well, he's not a villain. He's an ordinary chap.
Dad, I didn't fall in love with him because he seemed an ordinary chap.
Simply trying to put it in perspective. And once you do that, you'll soon start feeling better.
You know where I went wrong, don't you? Pushing him faster than he could go. If only I could have held on just a little more. Just a little bit more patient. It really would have been all right.
Lucy, it was never all right. It was over the moment you left France.
You think I'm like a bad penny, don't you?
Well, that's not true. I do think you were using us. All we were was a convenient base so you could carry on seeing him.
Wake up, Mum.
Lucy, see things how they are. Don't fantasize, for God's sake.
I see how things are.
Well?
Well, what?
Did she talk to you?
Yes. I don't want to talk about it now, or we'll say goodbye to sleep for the rest of the night.
I think I'll get her to tidy herself up in the morning. Wash her hair. Well, that'll do her good.
I tell you what'll do her good. Getting out of this house and going into work. She'll have to knuckle down. Have something else to think about.
But supposing they bump into each other, I mean, could she cope with that? Perhaps I can persuade her to go into work.
Think you'll have a job?
Well, I'll try.
I'm late for work. I'm supposed to be in by 6.
But if the charges really have been dropped, shouldn't we have heard by now? I mean, had it in writing.
I've told you it's all sorted out.
Then why is Jimmy coming? If it's all been dealt with, like you say, what have you got to talk about?
Look, you know Jimmy and the law. He knows what the catches are and if it could get stripped up later on.
Well, that makes sense. Only don't let him flog you anything.
Knock off burglar alarms. Ah, but he is me brother, you know. Besides, he thinks the world of you.
He thinks the world of anything in skirts.
Can I ask him to stop on for his tea?
Go on, the kids might like it.
Ah, great. See you, love.
Sure.
Have you got nothing better to do?
I'll tell you what I'm doing. Observing life's rich pattern.
Rich? Who leaves the close first, Heather or Paul Collins? That's pathetic.
What do you want me to do? Go to Adolf once a week and help you to pick the GGs? Or spend a fortune on a film that's going to be on telly anyway?
Oh, it doesn't depend on money, Harry. I mean, he can be skint and still manage to lead an active life.
Oh, could walk into town and back, you're right.
Now it's doing things that matter. Taking an interest in the world at large. Entering into spirited discussion. The only way the mind stays young is by being stimulated.
And who have I got to stimulate me? I've got you for breakfast, you for tea, and you last thing at night.
All right. Let's widen our social circle, eh? You know, there are clubs, Harry, for widowers and people on their own.
I can't think of anything more depressing.
I know. Advertise in a personal column of a paper.
Now, would a respectable man do that?
Yes. Listen. Widower, 55, seeks companionship, view marriage. 5'4", own house.
Now, you know what that is, don't you? That's an open sesame for gold diggers. There's a lot of grasping widows about. I own 2 houses. I'm a landlord and a car owner. Now, if a woman latched onto that, I wouldn't get rid of her, would I?
You couldn't afford a seat at the pictures before, so don't make out you're Paul Getty, because you're not.
All right, then. What sort of a woman would reply? She'd have to have no shame in her for to start writing to total strangers.
But you use the advert to describe yourself, so you wouldn't be a complete stranger.
Why me, eh? Why not you?
Well, you seem more at a loss.
Bored, Edna, I think.
She'd want you to lead a full and varied life.
I think she'd have a laugh if she was here to share it.
Hey, how tall are you, by the way?
How tall I was irrelevant.
Well, the other fella put it in.
Well, I'd avoid personal details, thank you. But I might get a reply from a woman who's just after some cheesecake.
Well, I tell you what. Let's get the breakfast over, eh? And I'll help you draft an advert. Cheesecake.
There now. You look more like your old self. It's a sure sign something's wrong when you let yourself go like that.
Do I really look all right?
You look very nice. Certainly nice enough to go out and face the world.
You think I should go back to work, don't you?
Only if you can face meeting James. Do you think you could?
I told you I don't want to go into that, Mum. We ended it, and now it's my business.
If you should meet him, though.
It wouldn't be the same at work. The pressures wouldn't be the same.
Good. Then you can both be sensible about it.
All right, why not? And at least if I do bump into him, I won't look an absolute fright. I'll go.
I'm sorry, is this cutting into your lunch hour?
Doesn't matter.
Well, tell me. Thanks very much. Tell me, how are you coping with Barnaby's?
Well, their problems are really complex. And they do have problems, there's no doubt. But I think I can make sense of them.
You're happy dealing with the big fish, then?
Say I'm happier than I was at the Women's Co-op.
Well, in that case, how does the oil world grab you?
I'm afraid I don't know a great deal about it.
Protheroes want to diversify into oil. They're planning on setting up an agency based in Aberdeen, offering a full range of staff to the major oil companies.
When you say a full range?
Everything from engineers and geologists to business advisors and public relations people. I'm planning on a 3-week trip to help him. During the first 2 weeks, we try and get the thing off the ground. And in the 3rd week, there's a conference. International effort on the subject of oil expansion. I'd attend, together with a client, of course, to publicise the agency. But I'd also be after custom for Hamilton Devereux, making contacts and so on.
Yes, I understand, Keith. Nice hotel, drinks before you dine, prospective clients.
I'd like you to be there with me. 3 weeks away, total change of scene, chance to do some pleasant socialising.
Why me?
You'd be an asset.
I've already said I'm not exactly an expert.
Oh, you pick things up quite quickly.
Why exactly would I be there, Keith? To pick up facts or clients?
That's a very crude way of putting it. I'd expect you to pack a few nice dresses, yes. You must have mixed business with pleasure with Tom Curzon. I'm sure you looked your best on those occasions.
I happen to be involved in an audit which means a great deal to this firm and a lot to me personally.
Yes, I know, and no one's telling you to drop it. I'm asking you to read through this, that's all. I'm not whisking you off tomorrow night. Well, what's so off-putting? The thought of 3 weeks in my company. You can't dislike me that much. Besides, I thought that 3 weeks in Aberdeen might well improve our relationship. I do not like to outline a job to you and meet with your hostility every time. It's not very pleasant. It does not produce good work.
Well, you know what young girls are these days. Well, Sonia, I'll have to go. I'll see you tomorrow.
Lucy, are you all right? I'm fine now, thank you. Oh, Mum, I did such a silly thing on the way back from town. I was in this stupid dream on the bus, and I went and missed my stop. And I got lost on the estate somehow. And that boy found me.
Got lost?
I told you I was in this dream. I'm sure it's lack of sleep. I think I'll go for a lie down.
Well, didn't you go to work?
That wasn't a good day to start. I should have rung first. They weren't expecting me. It doesn't matter.
Just a minute. Just a minute.
Well, I don't see what's wrong with this. I think it's a very good advert.
But you've got 50 words, and a 15p a word plus £2 for the box number. That's nearly 10 quid.
All right, we'll cut it down then. For instance, under interests, let's put railways. That saves 3 words, 45p.
Yeah. But some nice woman might not reply, because she'd think you just want to talk about railways.
I'd still want to talk about railways. And I'd expect that nice woman to listen as well.
Even if she was bored stiff?
Especially if she was bored stiff. Retired widower seeks same.
It sounds as if you're after another fella. Another widower.
Retired widower seeks widow.
Why don't you describe the type of widow you're after?
Seeks genuine widow.
No.
What's the matter with you now?
Well, that sounds as if some women might be posing as widows.
I meant genuine, sincere, not putting on an act.
Well, if you're going to be as particular as that, Addy, you'll have to give a full description, won't you? And that'll work out expensive.
Oh, I've had enough. Blow this for a job.
Not a lot of women who'd find you acceptable, Harry. Not ones you'd like. No, it's a non-runner.
You thought of it. It was your idea.
Yeah, well, I made a mistake. Anyway, I'm off to the shops now before they close. I'll see you later. No doubt, Harry, an advert's not for you. You're just not flexible enough.
That's your opinion. Right. I'll show you.
I tell you, Billy, if you'd seen it in a film, you wouldn't have believed it. There was knockoff stuff in a plastic bag soaking in with nappies. And I was over the road in this car watching her let the beggars in. No search warrants, but in they went all the same.
And how did Jackie cope with that?
Ah, it's tremendous. She's used to it, mind.
Well, Doreen's not. She thinks... Well, I mean, I've let her think that I've managed to get these charges dropped. And her hair is all set for Monday.
I'll level with her, then. I always do with Jackie.
You don't.
About where all the bread comes from, I do, you know.
Well, you don't elaborate, especially where there's a woman involved.
Ah, well, that's different. Besides, she knows we're basically all right. It isn't the odd bird that bothers Jackie. It's the thought of me being inside that screws her up.
She waited for you, didn't she?
Yeah, she did there once. But I don't know if she ever would again. Be harder now because she's got the kids.
If I offer no evidence, I could go down for what, 3 months? How will Joe manage, do you think?
Never mind, Doreen, how will you?
I do it standing on my head. Besides, the most likely thing I'll get is a suspended sentence. I've got things going for me. Previous good character, householder, in work.
You're wrong there, Billy. Look, if I was in your position, I wouldn't go sacrificing myself. I'd say, you got yourself into it, girl. You stand up there and talk and help me out.
Ah, but you wouldn't know.
It's not all arts and flowers with girls at that age, Billy. They matured that early. Now, it's an old fact. He didn't have to rape her, did he?
Hey, now,
Look,
come
there's
on.
nothing against Tracy. I mean, that's girls these days.
You just use women anyway.
Don't sacrifice yourself.
How can a suspended
You'll
sentence...
go down. And I'll tell you another thing. After a few days being banged up, you'd be screaming to get out. I've been there, and I know it, Billy. 3 months, it'd crucify you.
Keith knows I can't stand him. He just wanted me to say it to his face.
Well, maybe you shouldn't bottle it all up. Maybe you should tell him how you feel.
Oh, yes, I can just hear myself. What do you want in Aberdeen, Keith? A lady to drape herself over your arm and waggle her behind at fat oil men? All right, then, take a high-class tart.
You didn't go as far as that.
Why not? I'd really enjoy it. Of course I dislike you, Keith. You got the job I wanted, and every time you lord it over me, I can see you revelling in it.
You'd say you were being petty, personalising things.
And why not? I am a person, not a block of wood. I have to sit there like a block of wood. Well, one of these days I'm going to blow. I really am.
And he'll say, how like a woman. I wouldn't blow if I were you. Not if you want to keep your job.
I sometimes wonder if it's worth it. I like my job. I work damn hard. But he seems to make it unbearable.
Hey.
I'm sorry. And I've left you to do all the work.
I'm managing.
Yes, I can see that. I thought all you ever did was open tins.
Oh, now I do. It was different when I was married. Had to be a bit capable then, Barbara being the way she was, otherwise the kids would never have got fed. Or the beds made, etc. And as for ever having a clean house, Barbara believed that brooms belonged to witches.
Did she say that, or did you?
Yeah, I can't remember who said it first. That may have been a problem with us. We're alike in too many ways.
So she had a sense of humour?
Oh, yes. Still does. That's probably why we stayed friends. You're curious about her.
Yes, I suppose I am.
Fair enough. I'm curious about you. That's why I like it when you explode. Afterwards, I feel I know you better.
Do you explode?
Oh, I get depressed. About the office, really. The architect's office, it's hardly a very vital place at the moment.
But you don't explode?
Don't worry. I'm sure you'll get to know me all the same.
Well, if you want a babysitter, you could always ask our Tracy.
Well, at least it was me who knew where she was.
Unless you want Jackie tied to the house.
Now, why would I want that?
Hey, come on, Jim. Isn't it time you got off? If she's expecting you, just go.
Hey, I'll see you on Monday then. Outside. Yeah, go on, shove off.
Outside where? What's on Monday, Jimmy? Hey, come on. You've only been in the house a couple of hours. What's this you've got him into now?
Me got him into? You must be joking, girl.
All right, Jimmy, all right.
Well, don't you think we've had enough trouble?
Leave off him, Doreen, will you? It's me you should be giving stick to, not him. He means he'll see me outside court. Next Monday's the date of the hearing.
What hearing? I thought you said you got those charges dropped.
There's no way that he could have done.
He did a deal.
It's the police who prosecute, not Montague. It goes ahead no matter what he wants. It has to. It's a criminal offence.
And you strung me along.
That's right. And you know why? Because I'd had it up to here. I needed time to sort my head out, Doreen. You know, I wanted it to stop all those endless arguments.
I see. Well, I'll tell you something, Billy. Those endless arguments are going to start again. If you're in court on Monday, you'll offer some defence. Never mind, Tracy. You can't take the risk of being sent to prison.
I agree, Doreen. I agree.
Can I open my eyes now?
In a minute.
What's it a thank you present for?
For doing my decorating. For cooking most of the meal tonight.
Oh, yes, that's true.
Can you guess what it is?
A picture.
No, it's a print. Keith sent me to do the accounts at a women's cooperative.
A woman's print workshop?
Yes. And I saw this print there, and I thought... What's the matter? Don't you like it?
No.
You don't like it, do you? Is it my taste?
Heather, it's got nothing to do with your taste. I do like it. In fact, I know this print. I remember it particularly. It comes from a whole series. There's one that's a sort of twin to this. They make rather a striking pair.
Where did you come across them?
Your co-op? Barbara works there.
Your wife?
And, although it's good, I'm going to refuse this present.
I had a lot of that lady's work about the house. Keep it for yourself, and if you get the other one, I'll decide where to hang them for you.
I'm sorry.
How were you to know? It's extraordinary, really. You being sent there, of all places.
Keith wanted to make a point about the sort of work he thought I was fit for. You know, women's enterprise. In fact, they gave me a hard ride. I wasn't at all comfortable there.
Well, I'll pick up the other print if you like. I do pop in.
Yeah, but it's for me now, isn't it? Why should you?
You might meet Barbara.
Would you mind?
No, why should I? Look, it's only an idea about the other picture. You don't have to take me up on it.
We'll see.
But if I got offered that estate, I could quite easily see myself getting lost.
But the boy said he thought she looked ill. She was crying and didn't seem to make any sense at all. He didn't think she'd get home by herself.
Talking about my escort?
As a matter of fact, we were. Are you feeling better?
Yes, lots. I think the sleep must have done me good. You know, that boy that rescued me was really nice. He told me his life story on the way back. He wants to be an ambulance man. I think he'd be good at it.
He said you were very upset.
He thought I was a smackhead, actually. You know, on drugs. Must have seemed like that.
What happened to you at work today to put you in such a state? You told your mother you thought they weren't ready for you.
Oh, that was just something to say. To fob you off, really. The truth is, they've booted me out. Got the sack. James put in a word for me at the beginning, and now he's put in a word against me. Something about me being unstable.
Well, that's a bit extreme, isn't it?
Well, I imagine his wife egged him on. She must feel very bitter. And if the little girl was upset and asked awkward questions afterwards, well, I think she feels pretty hostile to me, really. I expect she nagged him to do it.
What's this about the little girl? What are you talking about?
I blew it, Dad. I went round to his house.
Oh, Lucy. That was a terrible thing to do.
It was a nightmare.
When did this happen? And why on earth didn't you say?
Well, I'm not proud of it, you know. It was a mistake. Oh, if only I could have been a little bit more patient. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry,
Thinks he's all right?
We'll have to wait and see in the morning.
But to go to his home.
She must have been desperate.
Well, even so. And then her behaviour today.
You don't think she's pregnant, do you?